Welcome to the Sports Show. Mike, Max, Patrick Royce, Lou Nanny, and Sid Hartman.
Yes, sir.
Yes, there we go. Now we start the show. I don't know if you want to take this one first or not, but we don't do this very often. We're starting with the Minnesota Wild tonight. And I watched, the beginning of the game tonight again. And Louis, I don't understand. I would think you lose 3 at home, you go to Chicago. Excuse me, it got better. But they're down 2-0. It could have been 4-0.
Well, they're not playing very well, so it wasn't.
Sid can tell me that.
It wasn't surprised that it was going to be down 2-0. When I saw they were going into Chicago tonight, I'm very worried about the game. I was hoping they'd come up with some kind of game, but Chicago Blackhawks hadn't been playing well either, and they came back home, so you could expect them to be fired up. The Wild started coming back afterwards, but it's still tough when you're going to play the Blackhawks in their own building after they've been traveling well and winning games when they haven't really deserve to win. You could expect a good effort from them.
Well, it's a tough schedule they got this week, too. They probably won't win a game.
Yeah, it's hockey.
It's hockey, yeah.
You never know.
Yep. But what do you think? Now, Nashville, the goalies is phenomenal, but they were just kind of physically imposing against them, I thought, yesterday. And I don't know. They're now like they've lost 3 more than they've won, which is a shock.
Well, when you're playing good, it gets easier to play.
Oh, sure.
And Nashville's really playing good. They got the best goalie in the league right now. Pecorino's been a big difference. He's the only major difference from last year. And he comes in, and of course they got a different coach, but they are playing the way the Trotz want them defensively, and will have to open it up a bit. But when you got a goaltender like that, you play looser, you play freer, you make things happen, and then when you're winning, you play with more confidence. You feel better. You feel lighter in your skates. You play quicker.
Here's the thing. I wrote a column tomorrow. I can never remember where the Gopher basketball team stunk. The Gopher hockey team, I think they're the biggest flop of all.
Yeah.
They got 15 guys on a team drafted. 15 teams drafted. They're picked number 1 at the start of the season, down to number 9th and 10th.
Oh, they'll go lower after. I was there this weekend.
Huh?
They'll drop lower.
NCAA tournament now.
They got problems making the tournament now.
What's got to make them nervous right now is Wilcox giving up goals. I mean, he's had a hell of a run for 2.5 years, and but goalies are crazy animals. So when they start getting a little flinchy, and then maybe he'll be hot for the playoffs.
Sure,
Wilcox will come back. I'm not worried about Wilcox.
But Louis, let's get back to the Wild for a second. Do you have to have just one goalie to really be good? Is it like quarterbacks? Do they got to just settle on Backstrom or Kemper?
No, they need one goalie. If you look around the league, most goaltenders will play, the top goaltender will play 55, 60 games. So you need one real good one. And they haven't had that this year. And now they're trying to get Backstrom to be that guy. And so they're hoping that happens.
I'll ask a question before Sid asks it. Everybody talks about goaltending first, and they said the defensemen haven't been that good. But there's another theory that says the forward aren't very good on defense.
Well, let me tell you something. Before you guys get on all the other things, they've had erratic goaltending since the first 10 games. And you're not going to win with erratic goaltending.
You're saying that throws everything off.
That throws everything off. Then you talk about the defensemen. Do you know when Chicago came here last week, Chicago had their top 4 defensemen 37 out of 40 games playing together. The Wild had their top 4 defensemen 17 games out of 39. That's a hell of a difference. Because you can't lose top defensemen and have an erratic goaltending and expect to win.
I got to ask you about one guy.
Hey, no swearing in front of Sid.
I got to ask you about one guy. What's with Charlie Coyle? He finally got a goal yesterday, but, I mean, the guy's doing nothing.
Yeah, but, no, he's not doing nothing. He's got, you look at the assists he's got, the points he's got. Coyle, nobody said Coyle's going to come in and be a 30-goal scorer.
Yeah,
Coyle's a big, strong guy who's going to control the boards and make plays, and that's what he does. He should have more goals than he's got right now. He's got, what, 4 or 5. But he should have more goals. But he's got the assists he's got, and he's the one guy that keeps swinging from first line, second line, third line, keep moving around with everybody because they know they're going to get that kind of effort from him. They know what they're going to get from him. He's not a large minus because of that.
Earlier this week, of course, the loss of J.P. Parisi. One at a time, who was J.P. Parisi?
Well, he was a great guy. Louis knew him better than I did, but I don't cover much hockey now. But when I was around those guys, I was there every day with those guys. They were pulling crap on me all the time. They put me in a a refrigerator one time. and if Louis wouldn't have got me out, I may have
Still be
died
there.
right there.
Okay, again.
Did JP ever make it to Sports Hero with that French accent? Did you ever put him on with the French
must
accent?
have had him on there.
The best
Sports
one
Hero?
was when we had that team. We had John Gilbert writing hockey for the Star Tribune, and he never made a deadline because after the game, he coached the team. One he walked. I can't think of the guy's name, but he walked up to one player, and I'm standing there with him. I want to interview the player. He's telling him, if I had you who was a young player, you'd get a hat trick every game.
Okay, again, back to J.P. Parisi. Who's J.P. Parisi?
JP was one of the most charismatic, infectious individuals you'd ever find. He brought joy to everybody. He was always up. He was always in a good mood, and he was the second easiest foil to pull somebody on. Sid's number one.
That's why he ended up with the
You can
refrigerator.
always pull someone in.
Hey, Sid, grab us a salami.
And Sid was the next best.
Let me just say this.
Oh, I think Tommy Reed used to just pull so many things on JP. Used to just drive him nuts.
If you didn't like him,
Yeah.
there was something
He
wrong
didn't
with
like
you.
motherhood.
Yeah.
I mean, Donna was a great lady.
Yeah.
And I can remember when that Zach used to come around to the games with later.
Well, he was long gone.
No,
by then.
yeah.
Patrick, what do you remember?
Oh, just same thing. Those guys are saying. I wasn't covering hockey then, but I got to know him a little bit, and he was a great storyteller like the rest of them.
I got one other question.
They just the camaraderie of those guys, because what's amazing about them is you guys all had to go to work in the offseason. I mean, you had to go sell envelopes.
Yeah.
JP, they all had to work in the offseason. They all lived in apartments and had to go to work in the offseason.
As I looked at JP's career, and I didn't realize this, he played for the Minneapolis Bruins.
Oh, yeah.
Who were the Minneapolis Bruins? Did you ever have a chance to play for
I can
them?
tell you
about
Hang
that.
on a
I
second.
did.
hang on a
I can
second.
tell you about the Minneapolis
What was the
Bruins.
atmosphere? What was it like?
They came in here. They were in the Central League, and Walter Bush, Bob McNulty, and Gordy Ritz bought the team. Ren Blair was the coach, and Caesar was on the team. Maniago, Goldsworthy was on the team. JP was on the team. Dornhofer was on the team that played in Philadelphia. Joey Watson was on the team, and I was owned by Chicago. So the Bruins, so they called me and said, if we make a deal for you, would you play? And I said, okay, I'll play home games, unless, and X amount of dollars. Right. And we try to get the deal done. But then Ren he said, we were all set, we had the money set, and he says, if we're not winning, you're the first guy cut. I said, well, you can't do that. His wife. I says, because I'm not coming without a no-cut contract. He said, no, he got no-cut contract. So
That's where it started between you and Ren Blair.
That was 1965.
And you two never got along.
No.
They were a farm team of the Bruins.
Right.
And
That's why they were called the
Walter
Bruins.
Brown was the basketball Celtics. And they were going to St. Paul to play. And I convinced Walter Brown to play at the Minneapolis Arena.
St. Paul was a Rangers farm.
In that arena. And what's the guy's name that was coach?
Harry Sinden.
Huh?
Sinden coached them. Harry Sinden.
Yes, Harry Sinden.
No.
Well, yeah, you did.
Who's the guy that coached the Bruins?
Harry Sinden.
Harry Sinden.
Yeah.
That's what you said. That's what
St.
you meant.
Paul Rangers and Minneapolis Bruins.
Did we get big crowds, or what did we get?
Yeah, they were good crowds.
But this
4,000.
This is just the last.
Yeah.
This was just the last minor league hockey before the North Stars came to town. There was the International League before that.
Yeah, okay.
50s. There was always the Saints and the Millers.
Yeah.
It was just they became the farm clubs, and then they were the Rangers and the Bruins for a few years at the end.
I gotcha.
Didn't the Bruins own that team?
Yeah, they did.
That's why they were called the Bruins.
Walter Brown was going to go to St. Paul.
Well, he couldn't because the Rangers were in there. The Rangers owned St. Paul.
No,
Well, okay.
they were, but not early.
Okay. Well, we'll start it on during the commercial. Take a break, come back, stay with us.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King. For the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Soundpoint Audiology. Life is worth hearing.
Quality. It's the result of shared values. The joy found in an honest day's work. Respect for true American craftsmanship and the need, not the want, to get things right. It's the result of remembering your roots, being forever humbled by how far you've traveled and forever hungry to push on further. Quality is a result. Quality is who we are. Cambria. Family owned, American made.
You're watching CW-23.
Oh, hi, Ohio.
Stuck inside for winter?
Sweats, pizza, and wine. Like the cover of Giving Up magazine.
It's time to turn up the heat.
Did someone call for 10 cc's of me?
And stay toasty.
Someone's looking sexy tonight. I was talking about me.
Hot in Cleveland.
I met a man this year who touched me deeply.
That could be half of Cleveland.
Tomorrow at 10:30 and 11 on CW-23.
It's Family Leisure's after Christmas sale.
Huge savings store-wide. Spas from $12.99. Save hundreds, even thousands on display model pool tables. Sectional sofas and massage chairs are priced to move. Hot deals on summer items, too.
After Christmas sale going on now at Family Leisure.
With the card accepted in all 50 states, you have the compassion of the cross and the security of the shield, giving you the power to do more. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Minnesota. Live fearless.
Name something a hospital nurse might threaten to do to a misbehaving male patient.
I'm going to give you an enema.
Right up in there. Right in there.
Watch Steve Harvey's Family Feud tomorrow at 6 and 6:30 on CW-23.
See why more people are coming to Audi than ever before at Audi Minneapolis. Experience the legendary performance and handling of an A4 2.0 T Quattro. Lease yours for only $379 a month. Plus, Audi Minneapolis will make your first month's payment. Or try out the luxury and power of an A6. Lease for just $499 a month. The Summer of Audi event at Audi Minneapolis on 394 at General Mills Boulevard and at AudiMinneapolis.com.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender.
Looking for a nice, big, juicy rack of ribs?
Fabulous chops, huge steaks, and the Buddy Bowl? Then J.D. Hoyt's is the place for you. Hoyt's opened in 1983, and Mike Andrews and his partner John White have kept this Minnesota tradition at the top of the food chain. Managing owner Pat Montague gives us a tour.
At J.D. Hoyt's, enjoy a relaxed atmosphere, great food, friendly service, private dining room, second-to-none happy hour, just blocks from the new ballpark.
Located at 394 in North Washington. Locally owned, nationally known. Hoyt's.
Stop on by J.D. Hoyt's. There it is. Great food, great chops, steaks, seafood. Say hi to Pat and the gang. It's always like a reunion over there. Great place before you go to a downtown event over the University of Minnesota. Sid, you alluded to it earlier, but Gophers, you can kind of start anywhere you want here. Go for basketball, go for hockey, go for women's basketball. Actually, Spike got beat today. Let's start with Gopher basketball. What's the problem? They're 0-4 in the Big Ten.
I don't know. I think one of their problems is the schedule they play at the non-conference.
They're not ready for the Big Ten.
You're right. They don't play anybody. Bob Knight brought that statement up. He watched Patino work in New York. He did those 3 games. He says, I think the guy does a good job, but you can't play the non-conference schedule he played. He says, in Indiana, we played Kentucky, we played Louisville, we played everybody tough, because I felt that you couldn't be ready for the Big Ten unless you played a tougher schedule.
You think it's scheduled? We've talked about that part of it before, but there's more than that missing.
Well, I think the problem is December is not so much the schedule. They play some decent teams. They're just doing it in November, and then all of a sudden you got this 6-game dead period that I don't think you get your competitive juices flowing for the Big Ten, you know, because you got from December 2 to December 21, you don't play anybody.
Hey, we don't do this very often, but the only guy I saw him play in person yesterday was Lou Nanny.
Yeah, that's right.
Our hockey guy over in a basketball game. How'd that feel to you?
What a fadeaway.
Well, I got to tell you one thing. That when you look at Chrysler Arena, it looks bigger than Williams Arena, but it doesn't hold as much. But they did a great job refurbishing it.
They spent a couple $100 million.
Yeah, it's really nice.
So it's a nice arena?
It's a very nice arena.
They have lost 10 out of 11 games to Michigan.
But the Gophers were winning 49-39. I looked up, there was 7 minutes and 2 seconds to go in the game. And what did they have, about a 22-5 run on us?
Well,
we must have thrown the ball
when they
away.
got it down to 5 points, you knew it was over.
Yeah, they must have thrown the ball away 5, 6, 7 times into the crowd, never been hitting guys.
Everybody's on Hollins, and he's not playing well because he's not making shots, and that's what he is. But DeAndre Matthews is not playing nearly as well as he did last year.
No, I don't understand that, because usually the guy that plays that position is not the one that falls.
I got to tell you, the guy that's really good to surprise me, and I don't know anything about basketball like he knows nothing about hockey. Yeah. But I will tell you, that Morris is some player.
Well, he's not afraid to shoot.
He's going to be a good player.
Yes.
Yeah, but he's got some good moves,
and you do need some people like that. Go ahead, Sid.
What happened? That guy that the NC Clearinghouse okayed him, and then Minnesota turned him down. Now he's eligible. He hasn't played at all.
Are they going to redshirt him?
What's the story about him?
Are they going to redshirt him?
I don't know.
I mean, they're not playing him. So
he was there,
yeah, he's there, but
he could be so far behind that
I'm getting the impression that they're not going to play him because they might want to get another year out of him.
I guess because they're not going to make the NCAA the way it's going, Louis, and that was what everybody thought would happen this year with this senior team.
Yeah, because that game and the Purdue game, they really should have won.
Well, you got 4 seniors now. That are, I mean, this isn't a rebuild job.
No.
He was mad at Ben Johnson for some reason. What was
that
about? Poor old Ben, nicest kid you ever want to meet. Boy, Petito was screaming at him. I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're a young coach. You do that in front of the players to your assistant coaches, correct?
Wisconsin got beat today.
I was surprised at that.
Yeah. What's that?
Wisconsin got beat
by Rutgers.
Rutgers beat them.
So all of a sudden, Rutgers is a team, and they play the Gophers on Saturday.
They didn't have that big center.
The big kid didn't.
Oh, Wisconsin did.
Yeah, but you should still beat Rutgers without him. Rutgers got beat by Northwestern when Northwestern didn't score for 11 and a half minutes.
I tell you what, man, that's not even unusual in a college basketball game anymore, Patrick. You talk about a run, but my gosh, you see these spells where it's all of a sudden the Gophers go through this all the time. It's like 6 minutes without a field goal. You know?
At least we got the women's basketball and women's hockey team to look forward to.
That's what it said, man. And you were there today for the women's basketball game.
Yeah, it was good. I'll tell you, Carly Wagner's going to be something. She hasn't quite figured it out yet, but that kid has got the quickest trigger for a female basketball player I've ever seen. Man, she get rid of the ball quick and with great form. And, you know, they went down the wire, 73-73 with Maryland. Maryland's got a lot of quick players, and they might start getting some people to go to a game again. They had 5,000 today, and they were kind of loud. So
Brenda Freeze, huh?
And get Bannon back.
They play
next year, maybe.
Huh? Play Iowa Tuesday. There's no sense to beat them.
Well, you were back to the men's game, but you're right. Yeah, that'll be a tough one. Yeah. Take a break. Come back. Stay with us on the Sports Show.
Ever wonder, why do I hear but not understand? Scientists at Cambridge University discovered the answer. Inside your cochlea, there are thousands of tiny hearing hair cells. Poor hearing occurs when regions of these hair cells die. Amplifying a dead region with hearing aids makes you hear worse, not better. The result of this study is a hearing clarity breakthrough. Using standard test equipment, dead regions of your cochlea are identified. Then, a new type of frequency-shaping hearing aid is programmed to bypass the dead regions. Only your usable hearing hair cells receive amplification. Brilliant. A local study is underway. 100 citizens with hearing problems are needed to receive this testing and then wear the tiny device for 10 days, recording your results. Call now to see if you qualify. Volunteers may keep the product at a special discount if they desire. Don't miss this opportunity. Call now.
Thanks for watching CW-23.
In a world full of compromise, the Audi A3 takes a different path. Get uncompromised design, the style and presence of Audi in a lighter, smaller form. Uncompromised performance, a lightning-quick turbocharged engine, and race-bred S-tronic transmission. Uncompromised luxury with standard leather seating and panoramic sunroof. Lease your A3 for only $299 a month. Plus, during the Summer of Audi event, Audi Minneapolis will make your first payment. Stay uncompromised. Audi Minneapolis.
Then they'll be fine.
There it is, Audi Minneapolis. Stop on by, see Charlie and the gang. Drive out in a Q7. Perfect for year-round driving and then some. Yes, Audi Minneapolis any time of the year. Welcome back to the sports show. Last week at this
When did you become in the sign business? All of a sudden, I turn on the TV the other night, and you're working with signs now.
Yeah.
Sid doesn't like those soft angles. He likes your meat and potatoes.
You showed me that sign, that sign for your house when you grew up. It was chiseled in stone. Yeah, back in the old days. Hey, last week we talked about how the Detroit Lions maybe got screwed in the playoffs. This week we might talk about how the Dallas Cowboys kind of got screwed. Even if that was the rule, then it's not a very good rule.
I don't know. What do you think?
I was talking about when the Dallas Cowboys thought they had that catch that would have sent a touchdown. Cowboys? What did you think?
Well, Rodgers is something. He finds a way to win.
Yes, and in truth, even if they would have scored, Rodgers still would only need to get a field goal to win it.
Yeah. But he won't win at Seattle next week, I don't think.
Why?
I think they're going to win the Super Bowl again.
Somebody said on Twitter that from now on, when you catch a pass in the NFL, you go to the ground, you got to get up, stand on a chair, and sit on a chair and sign an autograph. Otherwise, it's not a touchdown. Otherwise, you haven't completed the process.
Well, it was
what are they doing? I mean, I don't.
Because Pereira came on right away and said that's not a catch. So I guess by rule,
I know.
Whenever it is
change the
rules. Change the rules.
I think it's a terrible rule. I wanted Green Bay to win, but that should have been called a catch. It's a terrible rule.
You want Green Bay to win just because you got a cabin in Wisconsin, or what?
Yeah, no, I like Green Bay.
Okay.
I've liked Green Bay for a long time.
Rodgers and the way
yeah, I think he's a great quarterback.
Too, but you know, come on.
I'm not a big admirer of Jones. I'm a bigger admirer of the Green Bay staff. So, but that's a terrible rule.
Guys, Seattle ain't bad either. At Wilson, boy, he does almost everything Rodgers does.
Russell Wilson.
Well, he's got a ways to go to be.
He's not Rodgers.
But here's the deal. If I was coaching that league, I'd almost tell my receivers, listen, anytime you reach, unless you need it for a first down that we're going to have to punt if you don't get it, or there's 5 seconds left, I don't want you reaching.
Right, you better
I don't want you reaching.
Right?
Yeah. Just hold the ball, run out of bounds, do something. I'm sick of the reaching. The guy's reaching for the goal. This guy, he didn't have to. He wanted the touchdown so bad. Instead of just, okay, we're on the 1 yard line. Hell, we can kill another minute here and score a touchdown.
What did you think of Tom Brady yesterday?
Who?
Tom Brady. What did you think of him yesterday?
They didn't run the ball one bit. That was throwing a pass every time. He's awful good, but I think Seattle will play them for the championship.
Why do you think that Peyton Manning, they were able to shut him down today, Indianapolis?
I don't think he's healthy. I think
They said he had 2 weeks off and he was supposed to be 100%.
Can I give you?
I don't think he's healthy.
Can I give you my theory on Brady? Tavares Jackson could have completed 75% of those passes if they didn't cover the guy on the. Why did they not cover the right corner? Not cover anybody. The guy went down. They'd run a guy over, and he'd stand there, and they'd throw him an 8 yard pass. They did it 15 times. And those are the easiest throws in the history of football.
And sometimes
they didn't have to be Tom Brady to make those throws. They didn't cover anybody.
Sometimes they get so hung up on stopping, not wanting to get beat deep that.
How about the Colts? How lucky can you be to get that luck? What? He's going to be one of the greatest quarterbacks ever played the game.
He's pretty good.
He is.
No coincidence. It's all good quarterbacks
But you're going to have the two. You got two of the top 4 in Rodgers and Brady. Right now.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Of all time.
Yeah. Of all time.
Yeah, I mean, they're special. It'd be fun to see them in the championship. Take a break, come back, stay with us.
If you guys could go on a free shopping spree anywhere, where would you go? I'd go to the grocery store. Pizza, ice cream, go shop for clothes. You know where I go? I go to Ticket King. Ticket King! At Ticket King, you can buy great seats for the Vikings, the Wild, the Timberwolves, and of course the Twins. We love the Twins. Yes, this is where I go. Vikings, Twins, Wild, Timberwolves, Gophers, theater, and concerts too. For details, go to ticketkingonline.com. Any ticket, anytime, anywhere. It's the real thing. It's Ticket King. Right, Dad?
Couldn't have said it any better myself.
That's for sure.
You're watching CW-23.
Main Street is filled with hopes and dreams. The only thing you need is the right partner. The beacon of light that shines, that says we are in this together. That is Beacon Bank. Locally owned and community committed. They understand what you need. And they are your personal answer. Your friend in business and in life. Allow the folks at Beacon Bank to be a part of your life because they make dreams come true. Beacon Bank, it's a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. Beacon Bank, responsive, reliable, reassuring, and man, do they get a good product and good people. Bob Weiss and his staff allow them to help you see your dreams to reality. Welcome back to the sports show. North Dakota State, Patrick, we were just talking about off the air.
You know what's a good stat?
That deal yesterday where they won it in the last minute. Wow.
And you know what's a good stat? When you got seniors who've been there 4 years and they've won more national championships than they've lost games.
They lost 2, right? And won 4.
Oh, I lost 3.
They lost 3? Indiana State?
First.
Northern Iowa?
They lost 1 game in each of the in 2011, 2012, and 2014 this year, and they were unbeaten in 2013.
It's the only games they've lost?
They lost
but this
3
was supposed to be, you know, coach left, quarterback left, Marcus Williams, they all left. And to come up, and then if you saw the game, Patrick, you saw it yesterday as well. I mean, that last minute with this Wentz kid, he was something else.
Yeah, well, they got some Polish young man, receiver who's caught like 3 passes forever.
We went, Dave Lee and Dave Moen and myself went up there a couple times. Their facilities are better than the Gophers.
Well, it's different, because I spent a lot of time up there with Craig Bowl. His offices are, you know, their coaches' offices are nicer than the Gophers' coaches' offices, but the problem that they got is that dome is only available to them when it's available to them. So if it's cold late in the year and they got a concert, Louis, you remember these days, you got to practice outside. So they do have nicer facilities when they have access to it all.
It hasn't seemed to hurt them.
No.
But they've got great facilities up there. I mean,
how come North Dakota State's never had a hockey team?
That's something I wonder about myself, especially having North Dakota itself so close.
They actually considered that, and they were the 2 options they had were they're going to go Division I hockey and stay Division II, or go to Division I and all other athletics, because they didn't think they could afford both.
All of them, yep.
So they figured they had a better chance to compete in 1AA than they did in D1 hockey.
Well, guess what? They were right.
Yeah.
They don't think they wanted to be North Dakota's poor cousins in anything.
You're probably right. But they had oil money flowing in that state right now, Louis. You do what you want to do.
Yeah, it's a great area, too. I mean, they got a junior team up there that does very well. John Marks coaches up there.
They don't have
and they have, you know, they got good following there. They got great following.
They don't have as much oil money as they had a month ago, though.
No.
Under $50 a barrel.
We want to make this a regular item. If you go down to the final thing on the menu, Sid on Sid, where Sid just kind of free flows. Sid, give us some final thoughts.
Final thoughts? We got more losers.
How are you going to fix it? Your Timberwolves, you've been high on all year.
I think the Timberwolves will be the one team to start winning.
That's it. I promise you, man. I promise you.
Get some relatives here. We're putting him away. We're putting him away. That's it.
The Sports Show is brought to you in part by Canterbury Park 24/7 Card Club. Don't forget the Card Club at Canterbury Park. Cambria, makers of quality quartz surfaces. Ticket King, for the best price on tickets anywhere, try Ticket King. And Sound Point Audiology, life is worth hearing.